a brief live stream and announcement with my lovely student, Lena. Lena is a thesis student of mine at Pratt Institute's Creative Arts Therapies Department. And Lena has a wonderful and interesting topic for her thesis that I'm excited to share with you and want to extend today an invitation to participate in if that's something that you are interested in. And Lena is exploring the topic of handedness in artistic expression. So Lena, I just kind of want to hand this over to you a little bit to maybe introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your topic and why you're exploring that here today.
Yeah, so thank you so much, Brianna. So thank you guys all for coming in and listening to this brief little explanation of my study, and hopefully you guys will find an interest to it and you guys can all participate in it. I think the link is down below or somewhere around this video. So I don't know if you guys are familiar with the left and right hemisphere and how the brain and how people have kind of done these studies showing that maybe the left brain and right brain are associated with specific traits or just more activated than the other side. And that can be related to what hand you use as your dominant hand. So they say that the left hemisphere, which is associated with the right hand, or in general just the left hemisphere, is more of just like thinking, more organized, and also just language, numbers, and analytical thinking, as opposed to the right hemisphere that is associated with creativity and emotional intelligence and more imagination oriented. So of course we can all have both traits of both sides of the hemisphere, but one of the topics that I was really interested in is if you were left or right-handed, if those specific parts of the brain actually were activated when creating artwork as well. So that's what my study is about. I don't know if any of you guys relate to, depending on which hand you write with or do things with, if you think that you are more organized as opposed to creative. And you can chat in the chat section if you can relate to that. So basically, my study involves a questionnaire that has 58 questions. It's similar to the Myers-Briggs lengthwise, and it just asks you a few questions about your artistic expression and is based off of a specific art piece that you decide has embodied the way that you create artwork. So you don't have to be per se like an artist, identify as an artist, because we're all artists and we all use art to create things. And if you can relate to that, whether to self-soothe or just to express yourself when you feel like you have a lot of thoughts and feelings that you're trying to kind of process, this study is for you guys. So basically, I personally use art to express myself or self-soothe, and I usually gravitate towards popsicle sticks and hot glue sometimes to create mini furniture. But I also do little doodles as well, and I like to make little clothes and different hairstyles for my characters and give them like different backstories and personalities. But interestingly enough, I really don't like things that involve patterns and like mandalas and things like that involve more like step-by-step or organizational themes. So I think that's interesting just because I'm left-handed, and I find like those left hemisphere kind of traits to be more difficult for me when creating art. And I just wanted to know if you guys realized that you gravitate towards certain things as well, such as like 3D materials, or if you like paint and doing like landscapes, or if you like doing portraiture or anything like that. And that's something that you usually use, as well as sewing, for instance. Like it can really be any type of material themes and things like that. And this survey questionnaire involves uploading one art piece that you think embodies that. And that can be an existing one, or you can also create a new one, and just write a little short paragraph as well about it. You do need to consent to take part in the study. So that's also included in the questionnaire. So it's all in the questionnaire. You just download the consent form and re-upload it. And I don't know if there are any questions, but I hope that you guys think this is interesting. And I'll be sending you back your results personally to show where you kind of landed in your expression, if there was a correlation with maybe your handedness and like the way you have expressed yourself. And there are different categories, and there's like a at the end of the questionnaire, a handout that you can read more about it, of just like the different components that you may have been more categorized in. So yeah.
So I may just sort of summarize what it is that you're
Sorry.
sharing in a kind of a step-by-step way so that so that they can participate. So Lena is bringing to the table this exploration of handedness, meaning if you are right or left-handed. And if you are right or left-handed, how might that be manifest through the way you express yourself creatively? And we're using the term creatively very broadly. And so when we say that, it means it can be expressed through the materials you might choose to work with, the kind of art that you gravitate towards, the different expressions of creativity that you experience throughout your life. And Lena is exploring whether or not that has to do with right or left-handedness, which relates to right or left brain hemisphere dominance, right? And this is something in particular in my online courses that we explore through things like dominant and non-dominant handwriting, in my framework for how to access parts of ourselves that may not be consciously aware of, or that we may not be consciously aware of, right? So I really love Lena's project because she's kind of digging into this in a more granular way. And so if you would like to participate in this, there are some benefits to participating in this. And one of them is that if you click on the link in the caption of the video, once you complete the survey and you submit an art piece of your choosing, your own art piece, an art piece of your choosing, Lena will provide you with some additional information. And that's based on their responses. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So she'll provide you some additional information on how you may be expressing this in your own practice, and in your own life. And of course, the benefits of that are increased insight into how you move through the world. And I would argue also increased ability to utilize creativity as that bridge between insight and real felt changes in your experience, right? I call this self-sovereignty, but being and knowing more about yourself can allow you to be in greater command of yourself, to the extent that you can surrender when you need to, right? And that's what lets everything in. So I just wanted to thank you, Lena, for popping in here and for sharing your study with us, and this opportunity for my audience in particular to learn more about themselves, especially through the form of creative expression that they may feel the most at home with. And I think there will be some wonderful insights that come through for anyone that participates, and also for the results of the study, which I can also share at a later time once Lena feels like she's at a place where she's comfortable sharing it.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you wanted to leave them with, Lena, or do you feel like that sums it up?
Thank you so much for also summing up what I had said. And that brings up a good point, is that I'm also going to be including in the results different ways you can challenge yourself. So it'll show the ways that you have shown to express yourself, but also ways you can challenge yourself by doing different things that you're not necessarily used to, like different materials or art making that can access the other components that were less dominant. So thank you for bringing that up as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And with that, I'm just going to leave you with one last reminder to check out the caption of this video. You can click on the link and fill out a questionnaire. Like Lena said, it's similar to the Myers-Briggs assessment. And then you will receive some feedback on how handedness may be impacting your creative style. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you.